Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Mindset Reset Monday, you guys. Mindset Monday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Listen, we're talking about purpose. You ever ask yourself, what is my purpose? If you're feeling like you don't really know what your purpose is, this conversation is for you this morning. Listen, the title of this life lesson is You're Not Lost, you're disconnected from purpose. Okay. All right. I really want to start off by giving this disclaimer. Just good morning. It's Mindset Reset Monday, you guys. We're at another Monday at Life Lessons. Okay. Listen, this session is designed to really help you connect with your purpose. All right. Not this whole week. Okay. This whole week was designed to help you reconnect with your purpose, not just through pressure, but through clarity, you guys. I think again, part of the whole project initiative is to really give you clarity. So because I want you to know that purpose isn't a destination, okay? It's an alignment. All right. If you want to feel fulfilled, grounded, and empowered, you have to be willing to reflect, to listen, and to follow the call inside of you. Purpose is already within you, all right? You just need to clear the noise. And how do we do that? We seek out the right support and guidance to help us, right? Align, advance, and accelerate, okay, in our life, okay? All right. So I just want to say good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Life Lessons with Dr. Sheila Little. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Sheila Little. Life Lessons is a part of the Project Life initiative. Again, life is an acronym, really focusing on our love of self, our interactions with others, our focus, and our energy and emotions. Okay. And Project Life is truly where we turn theory into practice, you guys. So let's take a deep breath together. All right. Let's breathe in. All right. And breathe out. Okay. This is your space. No pressure, just your presence, right? No judgment. I'm gonna feel our feet on the floor. Just get present in our bodies. It's a new day, start of a new week. Legs, butt in the seat. We're laying down. Just feel our bodies, our backs, our stomachs, right? Our chest, our shoulders, our arms, our hands. Let's just breathe in again. Breathing in clarity this morning. Breathing out confusion. Okay. All right. Let's feel our necks and our faces, our lips, our nose, and our foreheads, just our whole bodies today. Okay, let's be present this morning. Good morning, Miss Melissa. Hey, listen, drop one word in the chat that describes how you're feeling right now. Okay, no judgment, no judgment, just awareness. All right. I am feeling, I guess I would say, you know how that one sign is just it's like just calm, right? It's Monday. So like I did a lot this weekend. So I'm just kind of coming just calm, really not excited, really not anything. Listen, it snowed yesterday. It's the first we on spring break and we had snow yesterday. So yeah. But I'm feeling a little just I'm here. I'm here today. All right. I'm excited about this conversation though. Okay. Listen, this conversation is for you. If listen, this conversation is for you if you have been feeling unfulfilled, stuck, lost, or burnt out, and you're ready to uncover what's missing. Okay, you guys, listen, which is your purpose? It's also for you if you've been showing up in life, not feeling connected to why you're doing it. Okay. I remember in my 30s, I tell you, like I had the check marks, right? Like get an education, get the house, have the kids, get in a relationship, and I still kind of felt empty on the inside. Like, why am I doing this? And be the good daughter, be the good friend, sit on the boards, like all of this stuff I was doing, but I hadn't discovered why. And so if I felt like, I mean, the why at that time was definitely this is what I'm supposed to do. So I definitely, when we talk about those paradigms, which I talk a lot about in the legacy membership. So when we talk about these paradigms, I definitely was in duty paradigm, right? Where it's like, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? And living in that paradigm, I just felt like I was just going with the motion. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And at that point, it just started feeling like I'm like, oh, I just feel like I'm down on the inside. Like I have to unplug. Like, what does this all mean? Right? So like Kanye and Jay-Z song, you know, what does it all mean, right? If people like that, put in the chat for me if you've ever felt that way. And I had to like step back from my life, which was one of the scariest things, but the most transformational things. Where I'm like, listen, this ain't it. It could be something way different than this. I did not know at the time what that was, but I knew that what I was doing wasn't it. And again, it was on paper, everything looked 100%. You got A plus, but on the inside, I uh, think I'm back. Okay, I think I'm back. All right, all right. So, I was asking my because is it warm? Is it warm in Florida? Okay, so I saw us at a distribution desk. Um, our powerful quote for this morning. Listen, purpose is not the thing you do. It's the reason you exist while you do it. Okay, so purpose is not the thing you do. Thank you, Miss Melissa. Purpose is not, good morning, Miss Jackie. Purpose is not the thing you do. It's the reason you exist while you do it. That was from Bishop T.D. Jakes, you guys. All right. Listen, Lauren was was doing all the things, okay? Career, family, church, success, right? But still felt like something was missing in her life, you guys. She told herself, I've achieved everything I was supposed to, all right? But I still feel lost. What she didn't realize was she wasn't lost, you guys. She was disconnected from her why. I think I just shared that earlier about me, right? She has spiritual gifts. She has spiritual giftings, personal passions, and relational impact, you guys. But she never slowed down to align them with her intentions. Okay, Lauren didn't need to start over. She needed to come to herself. But I say a big part of me starting shaping solutions and all the work that I do is because I literally just stopped everything. Like I unplugged from my life, like just did this whole like everything's wrong, right? Because I just didn't have the right tutelage, right? But working with Lauren, I was able to help her to just like, wait, let's not walk away from everything. Let's realign. Let's talk about it, right? And for me, I didn't have a place to go and do that, right? So she didn't need to start over, you guys. All she needed to do was just to come home, okay? Uh, good morning, Gladys. Good morning, Miss Gladys. Oh, this is my glass. I purchased my cousin and she said I'm feeling disconnected with myself. I understand, honey. I understand that. All right. We're gonna try to get you connected back today. All right. So here's the thing. I want you to ask yourself, what belief or story are you carrying about your purpose right now? All right. Do you believe it's too late, you guys? That you missed it? That it must look a certain way, right? Do you have this belief that like purpose must look a certain way? Huh? That in some way you missed your purpose, you've associated with age or maybe an old relationship or maybe a certain season or even maybe with um a job or a career path. Okay. I want you to take like truly take a couple of seconds, right? And think about that. Like, what's my belief? What's my belief that I'm carrying right now about purpose? All right. All right. And then if you want to drop a word in the chat, like drop a word or a phrase that comes up when you think about those questions. All right. All right. Listen, most people think purpose is a job or achievement. But purpose is an internal compass, you guys, not an external role. Let me say that again. Purpose is an internal compass, not an external role. It's who you're becoming, not what you're producing. Okay. It's who you're becoming, not what you're producing. When you're disconnected from purpose, you are living on autopilot. You settle, you shrink. But when you're aligned in purpose, listen, everything begins to flow. Your energy, your decisions, and like this joy and this peace and this happiness, right? Listen, one of my clients told me I thought I had no purpose because I wasn't successful. We unpacked her personal and spiritual alignments, and she realized her purpose was mentorship, you guys, something she had already been doing. Her confidence soared once she was able to claim that, you guys. So I guess I'm saying through this week, I really want you to start to, if you're part of our group, you already have the workbook. But if you're not, in which I really feel like you should be a part of, you know, the membership. You already have your workbook, but if you're not, I need you to really start asking yourself these questions, right? Purpose driven people, listen, are people. Purpose driven people are more likely to experience emotional resilience, right? Reduced anxiety and greater levels of satisfaction. All right. Good morning, Daryl. All right. So listen, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're just waiting to reconnect, you guys. This is what you want, isn't it? Right? You just want to reconnect. And that is really what that question of purpose is. All right. We all know that the essence stories is for beliefs, right? So today we're going to challenge the stories we tell ourselves about purpose. And as I'm challenging it, I want you guys to engage with me. So I'm going to be asking you, like, drop a heart, drop, drop those hearts, because here's the part of the engagement for you. What you're telling your brain when you're coming back and you're putting one is that I agree. That's safe. Okay. Again, as adults, we're learning. You know, from the time when you're, kid on up, you go to school, you learn your ABCs, your one, two, threes, like you're learning all of this stuff, and that's cool. But when we become adults, you guys, I just say there's no blueprint for what it is to be an adult. And what that make you do? That make you go back and start to really focus on everything that went wrong in your childhood, right? And then in those things that went wrong, you blame this is why I am as an adult. And it's like, no, no, that could be wrong. Maybe you're the way you are as an adult because there actually is things that you should be learning as an adult too, right? Because learning never stops. As Melissa says, sometimes our purpose can be right in front of us and we miss it because we are expecting an extreme purpose. Yes. And that's one of the beliefs, right? Is that I need to be doing this big thing and I need to be helping all of these people, right? And it's some people who are caught with like that. I always think about the triangle, right? It's more people down here than it is at the top, right? And some people don't even want to be at the top. Some people don't even want like to be responsible because to whom much is given, guess what? Much is required. And some of us don't even want everything that's required with the big thing. right? Our egos just feel like we want that. Okay. Miss Jackie said likely to fulfill our purpose, younger likely to fulfill or pursue younger passions or purpose. Thank you, Miss Jackie, for that comment. Gladys, Miss Gladys said, yes, something is missing. I want reconnection. Yes, we all want this reconnection. All right. So I think about this pyramid when we think about the people at the top that's saying like, oh, I want to do this big thing. I want to do this. And it's just not that. Oh, oh, so there was a first message. Okay. So Miss Jackie said, I believe that as we age, okay, I'm sorry, Miss Jackie, I didn't read the whole message. As we age, we do feel a certain way about purpose. Like, like we kind of accept all the things that come with aging. I'm not saying that we have to just go with the flow, but we are less likely to fulfill or pursue uh younger passions or purpose. Yes, but that doesn't have to be the case, and we're going to talk about seasonal purpose, right? So sometimes we're called to do a different thing. I think about say Oprah, she's 70. That's an extreme case, but just think about Oprah. Sometimes we and I tell my grandma, I'm just gonna tell my grandma. My grandma said 86. And I ask my grandmother, I say, maybe your purpose right now is to like pray over your grandchildren, right? Because we in this society right now, it's like so much going on, and we don't really have a lot of time to sometimes connect to God. And maybe as the matriarch right now, you're just thinking about like each one of your grandkids, and you're having this deeper relationship with God, and you're really like covering us. And I'm saying, Granny, that purpose right there is like unmeasurable, right? And so, in different seasons, I agree, Miss Jackie, that when you're younger, your purpose may be very different than it is when you're older, right? And I think that's what you're saying. Okay. All right. So we know that in the Stop and Our Front, like I said, the Esther stories, right? And some of the stories we'll tell ourselves that I missed it. My purpose has to be big, like Miss Melissa said, in public, right? I'm not enough to really carry my purpose. But listen, these narratives really block us from noticing this divine fingerprint already within us. Listen, the uniqueness that's already in us. All right. So here's some of those myths. All right. The big purpose myth. All right. This belief that my purpose has to be grand, public, and world changing. Okay. My purpose has to be grand, public, and world changing, right? Purpose doesn't have to be loud to be powerful, you guys. Some of the most life shifting purposes, listen, work, some of the some of the most life shifting purposes work happen in quiet spaces, you guys, raising kids, healing your lineage, mentoring one person. Listen, why does this matter? Because many people delay walking in their purpose, you guys, because they think it has to be like this big thing they're called to do, right? So they think it has to look like someone else's calling, someone who was at the top of this pyramid, right? That wants that level of responsibility. Listen, purpose is not about scale. It is about significance, you guys. Okay. Here's another one. Once I find it, I'll be fulfilled. This is one of those stories that, in our 30s, in our 40s, in our 50s, we'll tell ourselves, as soon as I figure out my purpose, everything will fall in place, right? And it's like, here's the truth. Purpose is discovered in motion, you guys, not in stillness. You don't find it and then start. You start and find. Okay? You start and it finds you. I'm sorry. You start and it finds you. Okay? In the doing the thing. All right. Why does this matter? Because people often stay stuck in reflection mode and not called analysis paralysis, right? And miss the power of aligned action, you guys. Listen, clarity comes from movement, not from perfection. All right. And a lot of us feel stuck and we're looking for clarity. In the stuckness, we don't do anything. And it's like, well, you got to do something. You got to, move your body, like go for a walk, like go out in nature, start cleaning out the room. It may not even be directly coordinated to the thing, but you just got to start moving some things, like calling some people, finding some interest, right? Because clarity comes from you, from movement, you guys. It doesn't come from perfection. This other story that I want to talk about is this: I'm too late. That's a lie. All right. I missed my purpose. I waited too long. Listen, purpose evolves. All right. The version you're called to live in this season is exactly what is needed now. Okay. The version you're called to live in this season is exactly what is needed now. And I think that's the follow up with the with Miss Jackie's comment, right? That sometimes as we age, we kind of, she said, like we kind of accept all the things that come with aging. I'm not saying we have to just go. We just go with the flow, but we are less likely to fulfill or pursue younger passions, right? And what I'm saying is, okay, but that purpose evolves for the person you are today, right? So it's just kind of evolving with you. So the I'm too old or I'm too no, it's evolving right with you. It's still there. All right. But why this matters because sometimes the deeper thing, and I'm not saying this for you, Miss Jackie, but sometimes the deeper thing for individuals is shame around lost time. All right, which is a whole different root system, right? So it's this shame around lost time, and it keeps people from using their wisdom in the present moment. So because I've lost all this time, right? Now I feel this shame about that, and now I'm not using what I've learned over these years, right, to really do and step into it fully with the realization that I am wiser now. If that's something I wanted to do 30 years ago, and I got 30 years of experience now, guess how much greater I can make an impact with that. But Jackie said, yes, I agree. Reflecting with regret. Yes, yes. And it's like you got time on your side now. You got wisdom on your side now, right? So this I'm too late lie, no, listen, prophecy, it has evolved with you. So if you wanted to start whatever, I'm gonna say a cooking business, then you got better at cooking, honey. You know what I mean? If you wanted to start a coaching business, listen, you only got better at coaching, baby. Whatever that thing is that you feel like you was called to do at 20 or 30 or 40, and now you find yourself 45, 50. Listen, that purpose just evolved with your experience. All right. Miss Jackie said, but I should not be. No, it's not that we're gonna judge that. No, I think the awareness of it, Miss Jackie. Miss Jackie said, but it should not be that way, right? She's talking about the reflecting with regret. And I think that that's the awareness. Oh, I'm reflecting with regret because maybe it's not too late. And this is how we trick the ego. Because when we say the should not thing, again, that's that paradigm, that's that should paradigm, that duty paradigm, which is kind of serving the ego, right? So what we want to do is be like, oh, thank you. My purpose, validate this space, this new understanding. Like, oh, if I'm reflecting with regret, thank you, because now I can see that my purpose is evolved, and I can go back and I can look at that purpose that I wanted to do 15 years ago and really see how I have improved. And doing that thing probably will be better for me now. Maybe my life is more settled. Maybe I don't have the kids that I have had before. You know what I mean? Maybe circumstances and conditions have changed. So she said, but I should not be feeling that way. I know that feeling came up, but I'm so happy that self-awareness came in, Miss Jackie. All right, good morning, Dale. All right, here's another one. Inherited inherited purpose narratives, right? That's a big one. My purpose is to follow the path my family, listen, my culture, or my church expected of me, right? True purpose is God ordained. It's not inherited, you guys. Listen, it's God ordained. It's not inherited. It may honor your background, but it must reflect your divine design. Okay? It must reflect your divine design. Why this matters? Listen, unexamined generational or cultural beliefs can cause really this misalignment in us and this burnout. Just because my mama did it or my daddy did it and my grandmama did it, and now they set me up to do it. And then it's like I, I'm giving this life to this family lineage, and we see it, you know, to pass on the family business and things like that, right? But a lot of those people are miserable, right? Because there's a misalignment there. Listen, purpose is not passed down. It's called out, you guys. It is not passed down. It is called out. Miss Jackie said, I thank God for my experiences. I thank God for them too, Miss Jackie. Okay. All right. And then the worthiness. All right. This is another story, right? The belief is I'm not special, smart, spiritual, or stable enough to have a purpose. The worthiness, the worthiness wound, right? I'm not worthy enough to have a purpose. I'm not special enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not spiritual enough. I'm not stable enough to have a purpose, right? The purpose, listen, this is not a reward. It's not a reward, you guys. It's not a reward for being perfect. It's not a reward for being human. Listen, it's not a reward, you guys. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to partner with the divine exactly as you are, right as you sit in the seat that you are in right now, you are being called for a specific plan, all right, for your life, you guys, okay? Listen, why this is important is because this belief keeps people hiding because they think they're not special enough, they're not smart enough, they're not spiritual enough, they're not stable enough, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough time, they don't have enough. This not enoughness, right? To have this purpose. All right. Listen, purpose isn't earned, you guys. It's revealed through obedience, through authenticity, through alignment, through growth, right? And that's again the power of what? Become an adult. All right. Because a lot of us are still from the dependent mind as kids. And so I'm looking for somebody to what? Tell me what to do. I'm looking for, and this is a unconscious thing, right? This is very much subconscious, right? Because I haven't gotten in the manual seat and really start to discover my life and have those difficult conversations and really start to shake myself up and ask myself, what is it that I want? And a lot of times that comes with a level of emotion. And because it comes with the level of emotion, you guys, we haven't, as adults, right, learned to get back into relationship with our emotion, right? And let our bodies and our nervous system know, like, I'm safe, right? Because remember, yes, last week we talked about accountability, right? Putting these accountability systems in place so that we can grow and evolve, right? Into adults. All right. A lot of things we're stuck in because we just don't know, right? Because we just don't know. All right. Listen, you could use you could use your experiences in life to truly, truly change your life. I want you to think about this. One, which one of these beliefs have kept you from embracing your purpose? I want you to think about, is it the worthiness wound, like I'm not special enough? Is it the inherited purpose, like I followed the path of my family, my culture and things like that, and I'm in that and I just feel this misalignment? Is it the I'm too late lie? Is it once I find it, I'll be fulfilled story? So you're kind of just waiting on it to happen, right? For this big purpose, right? My purpose is this grand public, thing. And I need to, you know, I'm waiting to be called to do this big thing. All right. Right. Which one of those have you found yourself um embracing, right? Or following through, And where do you think those stories come from? And I want you to ask yourself, is it still serving you? Is it still serving you? Because this is what I want you to know. Purpose is not one thing, you know. I know that we ask the question like, what is my purpose? As if purpose is one thing. Like, I'm like dot 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 or filling the line. And I just want you guys to know that there are so many different purposes, and I want to go over a couple of them now. If you want me to go over a couple of them now, drop a heart in the chat for me because I think that when you see like these different purposes, I think that my hope is that some relief, like you feel some relief in your body, right? And you really start to make the investments that you need to make to really start to move forward, in this alignment. All right. So we know about this one, the spiritual purpose, right? Why was I created? Right? This is the purpose that a lot of us talk about, right? This is your soul's alignment, right? With the divine, right? It's about becoming a vessel of light, truth, and healing in the world, right? So some questions that we would ask is like, how is God you know, expressing something through me, right? What part of the kingdom am I uniquely designed to reflect, right? So this is the spiritual alignment, right? This looks like walking in faith driven integrity, like healing generational wounds, like using spiritual gifts for collective good, right? Bringing divine love, purpose, and peace into our everyday life, right? Without this, I want you to know without this, because I know that we get this spiritual purpose kind of caught up with religion, and this is different, right? This is different because without this type of purpose, people feel like spiritually disconnected, right? Like something is always missing, even when life looks good. All right. So this is like this. We all have this soul, and this is that soul's purpose, that deeper connection to the world around us. All right. So that's one purpose. Okay. That's one purpose. The second purpose is our personal purpose, right? What brings me alive? What brings me alive? This speaks to what energizes you, right? What makes you feel aligned and where you experience flow and joy. This is the questions like what lights me up, whether or not I get paid for it or not. So what is the thing I like to do? Where do I get lost in time because I'm immersed in it, right? Is this like creating art? Is this cooking? Is this decorating? Is this building? Is it teaching, right? Being a safe space for others, like developing ideas, designing spaces, creating clothes, right? Solving problems. Like, what is your personal purpose, right? What brings you alive? All right. All right. Listen, without this, people feel drained, uninspired, and numb in their daily experiences. So we need this personal purpose, this thing that we can go to that really like fuels us because it's a lot of flow and joy there. All right. All right. And then we have what's called relational purpose. All right. So we have our spiritual soul, we have our person, right? Right? The what brings me alive. And then we have relational purpose, you guys. Who am I here to love and support? Okay. Who am I here to love and support? These are the relationships you're called to nurture and grow, both that's given and receiving. Listen, both in giving and receiving. All right. Because I think that, and I want to say that because I think that we, some, because it's hard to be in receptive mode, because we don't always say we don't think about the iron sharpening iron. Some people are sent into our lives to sharpen us, right? Some people are sent into our lives to sharpen us. And those situations, those relational purpose driven relationships may not always feel good. So we'll cut them off because what we're looking for is this, bringing me alive, this personal purpose. And it's like, no, this relational purpose is who am I here to love and support? And both who is here to love and support, right? A total different vessel. But we'll cut people off that, like, make us upset. We're breaking up with people all the time. We're breaking up with friendships and all of that stuff. And I want you to think about this. These are the relationships that were called to nurture, that you're called to nurture and grow through, both in giving and receiving. All right. So who is in my life? Just want you to ask, who is in my life that I'm uniquely positioned to impact, and who has been in my life that uniquely impacts me? All right. How can I show up with love, presence, and accountability in those relationships? So what this looks like is parenting, marriage, friendships, mentorships, right? It also looks like having a level of emotional intelligence, right? Healthy expectations and standards, right? Uh, Boundaries, right? Within developing those, understanding my values, right? All of this is developed as a part of this relational purpose, right? Choosing growth over comfort, right? And connection. This is huge because if I'm choosing growth, that means everybody I'm around is not there to soothe what? My ego. Maybe they're gonna make me uncomfortable. Even the people I was called to assist. Maybe it's about me learning how to speak my truth. And I see this so much. Like people feel that another person is aggravating them, and I'll say, or just bothering them, or if something is disturbed in their spirit, and I'll say, did you talk to them about it? Like, no, I just don't want to, I don't want to ruffle no feathers. Like, I don't want them to think I don't love them. But what if you were called in their life to be the iron to sharpen them? And this story you made up in your mind about telling your truth is going to, you told yourself a story in your mind that bearing your truth is going to what? Destroy the relationship. So now you're not saying a thing or doing a thing that you're supposed to do, that you were called to do that. You were called to set up that standard. You were called to have that difficult conversation, but now you're not doing it. Listen, it's a relational purpose. And some of us ain't standing up in it the way we should because we don't have the emotional intelligence. We don't have the effective communication skills. Why? Because as adults, we didn't go with it, right? And then we're blaming what? Our parents. We're blaming what? Our childhood for not providing it for us, not even realizing it. But as an adult, once I realized that I didn't have that, then I should be, listen, hitting that link, joining, Project Life, going into the School of Life portal, downloading the resources, coming to the labs every week, because these are resources that I need, right, in my life. I need to learn emotional intelligence. I need to understand what boundaries are. I need to set expectations. Why? So that I can step fully in my relational purposes, and I can be who I was called to be in the good, the bad, and the indifferent, right? Without and do it with ease. Not that it's easy, but I'm so aligned in my truth that guess what? If you don't want to be my friend no more because I'm bearing my truth, then I'll deal with that emotion, right? I'll deal with that emotion, but I'm okay with that. And that take a certain poise on the inside to not to stand in that level of truth. All right. So Miss Melissa said, I've learned to first pray, ask for guidance. It was a learning experience with much obedience to wait for God's directive. He is the God of my valley. Obedience is learned with willingness. And I'm here to learn. Yes, Miss Melissa. Yes. Good morning, Miss Lori. Good morning. All right. So again, this relationship purpose, thank you for sharing, Miss Melissa. This relational purpose, listen, it's parenting. We have to learn how to parent our kids. We got to learn how to provide our kids with skills. I had shared this post over the weekend about, our parental relationship is very different than an employer-employer relationship. Okay. And in a parental relationship, it's relational, right? But how many of us have been in our parental relationship with our parents, and they raised us like, it was transactional. You do this before I give you that. You do this before I give you that. And the lady turned it around and said, but when the parents get older, they want a relational relationship with their kids, right? And God forbid that the kid now, this generation, looks back and say, is it worth it? Right? Because that transaction, now when we have transactional thinking, what she was saying is when you teach your kids to be transactional, right? Now they're thinking, is it worth it? Is it worth me going through the pain to stay at this job? Is it worth it going through the pain to stay in these relationships? And because we've been taught transactional, that is what we ask ourselves when we go through difficult relationships. Is this person worth me staying? Is it worth this pain? Is it worth this conflict? Because we've made what? Relationships transactional, right? And they're not, right? All right, marriage, friendship, mentorship, okay? All of those things take skills, but that is a relational purpose. If that makes sense, drop a 3 in the chat for me. All right, listen, without this, people feel isolated. We get stuck in codependency, and listen, disconnected from relationship. All right, disconnected from true relationship. And we have, I'm sorry. Thank you, Miss Jackie. Then we have our vocational purpose, you guys. This is how do I serve the world with my gift, right? Now, this is where we start talking about work, career, and mission. Do you see how we have relational, we have personal, we have spiritual before we get to vocational, right? This is how your purpose shows up in your work, in your career, and in your mission. It's about your contribution to the world, okay? What problem do I feel called to solve? How can I align with what I'm good at? How can I align what I'm good at with what the world needs, right? Right. This is your vocation, okay? Good morning, brother. All right. So this looks like your teachers, your leaders, right? Your healers, your designers, your coaches, your therapists, your servers, your contractors, your builders, right? They've taken their skill sets, right? Your entertainers, they've taken their skill sets and now they found a way to what? Monetize them, right? This is our vocation. All right. And so building businesses, solving problems, creating systems, right? So without this, without aligning though your vocational purpose, meaning aligning your this gift, right? This gift that you have or this purpose that you have, without aligning it with your vocation, what happens is people start to chase money, they start to chase status, and then they or security, and then they start to feel empty. All right. So we have to figure out what is my vocational purpose. Really, is how do I serve the world with my gift? All right. How do I serve the world with my gift? And sometimes, right, around our gift, good morning, Dewana. Sometimes around our gift, we have money stories, right? I don't want to charge for my gift, or sometimes we don't even notice our gift because they are a gift, right? And so we don't know how to monetize them, monetize our gift because they're ours. So it's a lot of sometimes realization or growth that has to happen in this connecting my vocation, right? My gift, how do I serve the world with my gift? Because a lot of times those are the places where we're not as aware of where our value is and we need to become aware again. So getting in the coaching program will help me to help an individual to do something like that. All right. And then we have communal purpose, you guys. What do I stand for in the world? All right. That is very different than spiritual. Okay. That is very different than spiritual. This is about legacy. This is about legacy, the legacy you leave behind and the role you play in your community, in your culture, in the cause. Like, this is what values do I stand for? How do I help elevate and heal collectively, right? So these are your activists. These are your uh, supporting people with a marginalized voice. These are your community development purposes, right? This was the grandma who like kept the bad guys off the corner, right? These are just people in the community that have a cause, right? that they stand for, that they're willing to advocate for it, right? That's very different than spiritual. Okay. And I want us to see the difference, because sometimes we will try to interchange those, and this is communal purpose. This has everything to do with community, right? And we could do that through our, through our organizations, right? Through Greek organizations. We can do that with our friendships. Like, a lot of times our friends have gotten together and say, around the holidays, how do we want to serve, right? A certain population, right? So this is just, how do I give back to my community? All right. In activism, advocacy, and service, really support marginalized voices, right? People who don't have a voice and things like that. How do I align that? Listen, people who don't have this, they tend to feel powerless or apathetic to the world around them. All right, right? They just don't really care. They're just disconnected. All right, and then we have the last one. Well, this is the last one I'm going to talk about, which is what is this chapter calling? This is the seasonal purpose, you guys, and I want to talk about this, and I want you guys to hear this. This is a seasonal purpose. What is this chapter calling for me? Okay. Because a lot of us, again, we have this, what is my life calling for me? And we don't really look at the seasons in our life and recognizing that each season may be calling us to do something different. Okay. So listen, purpose can shift based on your seasons, you guys. What you're called to do in one phase of your life could evolve in another phase. All right. So this is what we want to be thinking. What does purpose look like right now? Not forever. What does purpose look like right now for me? Not forever. Okay. And I think that's where we start to get overwhelmed. Maybe I could serve 3 or 4 people right now. You know what I mean? And I have to find room to that for that to be enough, right? For me to grow in that, right? And maybe it'll grow, maybe it won't grow. Maybe I'll get what I need, right? For that purpose to evolve into something different in my next season, right? And then I want you to think about, am I willing to release old callings, you guys, to step into the new ones? And again, when we talk about evolving, I want you to think about what evolving means too. Evolution, right? Evolution looks like the roots of a tree changing to the trunk, changing to the branches, changing to the leaves, changing to whatever flower or fruit that tree is going to what? Bear. The evolution of the tree changed, but it's still the same tree. All right. And sometimes we don't know how to release old stuff. We stuck at roots, and it's like, well, that's who I was, and that's what I've been doing. And it's like, you still, we can let go of the roots, right? So the trunk can grow, right? We can let go of the trunk stage so the branches can grow. So I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to release my old callings, the things I was like I was called to do before, and really step into these new ones, right? That may have something to do with the old calling, or may have nothing to do with it. And let me tell you this, those leaves, those leaves on those branches, they look nothing like the branch. The leaves, it's like they're green and soft, and you know what I mean? The apple looks nothing like the trunk or the bark of the tree, right? But it's still a part of it. It comes from it. Okay. So sometimes this newness is probably not going to look anything like something, but I want you to ask you, am I willing to release old callings to step into new ones? All right. So what does this look like? It could look like rest. Maybe your purpose in this season of life is rest. Maybe it's rebuilding. Maybe it's launching something different. Maybe it's nurturing now. Okay. Maybe you're in a place of transition. Maybe you're in a place of healing. Maybe you're in a space of expansion, right? Maybe it's your season to pour into other people. Maybe this is your season to pour into yourself. All right. So, what is this chapter calling from me as a seasonal purpose? And we have to be open to This is my season to rest. This is my season to pour into other people. This is my season to pour into myself. This is my season to heal, to expand, to transition, to launch, to rebuild, to nurture, to grow, right? And give ourselves permission to make those transitions the way seasons change, okay? Because without this, people get stuck chasing past identities instead of being present in this current in their current assignment. All right. All right. Why this is important, listen, we have to understand the different types of purposes because it will help us to release the pressure of finding, right? That one thing, right? Step into purpose. It'll help us step into our purpose, even if we're still seeking clarity, and then it help us integrate, purpose into our everyday life. If you guys enjoyed that, drop a four in the chat for me as we go into our biblical wisdom. All right. And our biblical wisdom this morning is Romans 12 and 6, right? Which says we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. All right. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. What does this mean? Purpose is customized, you guys. Your gift is evidence of your calling. You don't have to imitate everyone else. Listen, your grace is your guide. All right. This isn't just a reminder that we're all different, you guys. It is a confirmation that that each one of us is divinely equipped, all right, in one of these areas, or maybe all six of these areas, right? With a spiritual purpose, a personal purpose, a relational purpose, right? A vocational purpose, a communal purpose, and a seasonal purpose, right? And they may shift, right? But we always in the moment have a purpose. All right. All right. And we have to recognize that. All right. We have to recognize that. Okay. So this isn't just a reminder that we're all different. It's confirmation that we've been given that each one of us have been divinely equipped for a specific function, assignment or contribution. Listen, when God gave you grace, He also gave you the capacity to walk out your purpose, you guys, even when you don't feel ready. Listen, this verse makes it clear that you don't have to try to become someone else. You don't have to struggle to create your worth. And your gift and purpose is already inside of you, waiting to be activated, you guys. When people say, I don't know my purpose, it's often because they're trying to compare or confirm. Okay. They're trying to compare or confirm. Listen, stop comparing and just start embracing your grace. Your purpose is uniquely shaped for you with your story, in your voice, in your experiences. Then I would just have to ask you, have you done the work though, as an adult? Have you sat with someone, an objective person, to really look and really, hear yourself talk in a place, in a safe environment? Have you gotten the tools to really articulate your thoughts, not in a like educated way, but like, I'm saying academically, I'm saying, have you sat with somebody and really thought about, you know, purpose in these communal ways and relational ways, like all in these roles that you play, even inside yourself, right? Right. So because your purpose is uniquely shaped for you. It's uniquely shaped for your story, for your voice and your experiences. And that's why I say you have the power to write that. Okay. All right. And that is where we start to win. That's when we start to shift. And that's when we start to stop trying to change life and we start to really change how we respond to life because life is gonna happen. Listen, life is gonna happen. We ain't never gonna stop feeling. Life gonna go up and down. Things is gonna be happening in the midst of us, but we're gonna be anchored in such a way because we know who we are and whose we are. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. All right. All right. All right. And our promise verse. For I know, so this is Jeremiah 29 and 11. All right. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Remember what the promise verse is. right? And remember, God cannot lie. Not that God will not lie, it's God cannot lie. And it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord. Plans to what? Prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in plans to give you hope in a future, you guys. Listen, this verse reminds us that even when we feel uncertain and disconnected, God already has a plan for our life, you guys. Listen, you don't have to create your purpose from scratch. You are unfolding a divine plan that already has your name on it. And that's where we go into discovery. That's when we start to work. I remember I was working with a lady before, and she was building a store. And she came into my office and she wanted to do this store because her personal purpose, what brought her joy, was, in this case, she loves shoes. And she was like, I love shoes. So her personal purpose, I'm gonna show you how this works. Her personal purpose was she loves shoes. She loves shoes, right? And so she was like, I'm gonna take her personal purpose and I'm gonna build a shoe store. And the shoe store just it wasn't doing well. And so after talking to her and reflecting with her and working with her, she felt like she had a communal purpose, like she wanted to help other women to do something deep with their life. And when she walked out of my office, she walked out with clarity that, oh, I love shoes. And I find selling shoes to people who may like my shoes. That's not where I want to put my time and energy. That's something I like when I put my shoes on and how I feel. That was her personal purpose. But her vocational, the thing she wanted to give to people, she had not really discussed it and talked about it in the way that lit her up. And after that, she started to really build, and I follow her now and I see that she's doing this work and I'm just like, wow, I remember that conversation we had, in my office. And that was just like one conversation, but I'm giving you an example of, listen, you don't have to create purpose from scratch. You are unfolding a divine plan that already has your name on it. Why haven't it happened? Because you haven't been in the right space to really activate it, to have the deeper conversations. Listen, it's not about striving, you guys. It's about trusting. It's not about fear. It's about future. And it's not about being perfect, you guys. It's about being present to what's already working for you, you guys. Listen, instead of wondering, what is my purpose? Begin asking, where is God already working in my life? Right? This verse really anchors you in the truth that your life is not random. Your desires, gifts, and life experiences are part of a plan to prosper you. Listen, not harm you. This isn't just a distant, prophecy. It's a daily reassurance that your that your life that your life is not random. Even when it feels like you missed out, like you messed up, or even wandered too far off, this verse is saying you're not off track. Right? You're being redirected, you're being refined, and then you're being realigned. All right. When you trust the divine plan that is unfolding in you, you guys, you don't have to strive. You don't have to you don't have to strive, you guys. You have to surrender. You don't have to hustle, you have to listen. And you don't have to figure everything out at once, you guys, because purpose is revealed step by step. Okay. Here's why Here's how this verse connects with this session, because this verse directly speaks to what? That feeling of, it's too late for me. I've missed my moment. I'm not sure where I'm going. Listen, God reminds us that Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us that the God who dwells within us, right? That divine presence that's within us already has a blueprint. Your job is not to map it out. Your job is to show up for the next step. And why are we not showing up? Because of that vulnerability, because of us being uncomfortable. Showing up is being present. because of our relationship with the present moment, what that requires, because of the stories in our head, right? Because of some of the things that's getting in the way, right? That's in our own, that we have to move out the way so that we can what? Be present, okay? Because this showing up, it may require me to feel something a little uncomfortable. It may require me to sit still, right, and listen, right? It may require me to reflect on some things that, may not be comfortable. And I think that when we align purpose, we think pleasure and like like pleasure and easy. And there is a sense of ease, but it ain't easy. The ease is the peace, all right? So here's the final thoughts on this. You already have a gift. That's what Romans 12 and 6 is saying. You already have the path. That's what Jeremiah 29 and 11 is saying. And your purpose is not something you chase, right? It's something you align with. And so we already have Project Life, right? Where we get the information every morning, right? We sign up for the growth membership, that $47 a month. We have access to the School of Life portal where we get the resources. We do our labs every week, right? This is the additional steps to really what? Turn our what? Theory into practice, right? So I want you to know this. You're not waiting on permission. Your discoveries, you're rediscovering what has already been there. You guys, listen, you're not waiting on permission, you're rediscovering what always been within you. This is the kind of transformational clarity that these scriptures bring to life, you guys. All right. So for our transformational tools, listen, first thing I want you to do is reflect on one moment where you felt fully alive. All right. What were you doing? Who were you with? And how did that feel? All right. Step two, identify one area. Oops. Step two, identify one area, spiritually, personally, relationally, vocationally, or communally, right? That feels misaligned in your life, right? Do I feel misaligned in my spiritual, in my personal, my relational, my vocation, or in my community? That's just community, right? And then I want you to commit to one intentional action this week to reconnect with that purpose, right? All right. So, and then I think you thought I added a journal thought to that one, didn't I? There is a journal pop that I want you to write. What lights me up that I've been ignoring. So I want you to think about what lights me up that I've been ignoring, and how can I honor that this week? All right. Affirmation again. These are words to really expand, right? We have to believe it to achieve it. And if the feeling comes up, you go to say it and you don't believe it, that's where the work is. That's where the work begins. All right. So I am not lost. I am aligning in my divine purpose. Every step I take is a return to myself, you guys. Every step I take is a return to myself. My daily intention today, I will listen to that small voice inside me that knows exactly who I am becoming. And then our bonus challenge for today, listen, catch um for the next 24 hours, I want you to catch one. Either I'm not enough or I miss my purpose throughout the day. Any one of those things when it comes up to purpose, and I want you to replace it with a truth. And then if you want to drop it in the DM, call me about it. That would be good. And I do want to I want to say that if you're walking away, listen, if you're walking away with insight today, drop a fire in the chat. Drop a fire in the chat for me. Listen, let's celebrate our growth together. All right. Um, what truth are you walking away with? That's what I want you to ask yourself. So, what truth are you walking away with? um what is one brave step, right? What brave step will you take to reconnect with your purpose? And then go shape your life, right? You are called on purpose, with a purpose, and for a purpose, right? I just want to say, I think that this life lesson hit, right? So the power, listen, the power of truth and self-awareness, that is the power of truth and self-awareness. But let's be real, right? With you. Let's be real with you. Information doesn't create transformation. Application does. Listen, if you love the life lesson, but you still feel stuck, and I'm putting this in here because I talk to people and they say this, I still feel stuck. It's not because you're doing anything wrong, you guys. You may be taking notes, you're listening every day, like, but you still feel stuck. It's because transformation requires a container. Requires coaching and it requires a community. Listen, knowledge alone will not change your life. Actions will. So imagine having personalized guidance, real accountability, and supportive community to help you apply what you've learned. Listen, that's why I created Project Life, where we turn what theory into practice. Okay, where we build emotional muscle, right, and spiritual discipline, and where you stop feeling stuck and start feeling supported. That is just for 40 it should be $47 a month, you guys. That's at SheilaLittle.com. I've never told you guys what you get with that. So in Project Life, you get the School of Life portal, right? That's where all our resources are. You get weekly coaching labs, real-time accountability, themed growth worksheets and trackers, weekly check-ins, and really process a space to process, heal, processing healing spaces, okay? All right. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at I Am Shaping Solutions. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank everybody who's been inviting your friends. Make sure you continue to invite friends to that Elevate in Life with Sheila Little Facebook group. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. And remember, if you can shape it in your mind, you guys, you can have it in your life. Listen, I love you. I love you. I love you. Till later. Till later. Till later. Is that on Facebook? The Elevating Life? Yep. The Elevating Life with Sheila Little group is on Facebook. It's Elevating Life with Sheila. Yes. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. We talk about the triggers that come up when we are but trying to step into our purpose. Right. Till later.